All right, I wanted to take a minute to talk about this Rochshell Mark III. It's a piece I just recently got and have been unable to find out much about it online. There's almost no reviews or anything. And so I thought to myself, well, let's see what we can figure out. So I picked this piece up off of a watch group that I was part of, and instantly it jumped out to me. So you see the completely etched ceramic bezel, which is really nice white dial, finished in these silver trimmed lume pips. Really nice magnification on the date window, really clean date. And just overall, a very aesthetically pleasing watch for sure, at least in my opinion. I like the presidential style kind of bracelet here, which is really nice. Signed butterfly deployment clasp, which is really nice as well, with the Romer R. This is a automatic watch, as you may have already been able to tell. And I'm going to double check, but I believe it has the ETA 2824 movement in it, which is a nice movement. It's a workhorse movement for sure. It is Swiss made. And when I looked up this brand online, apparently Romer's been around for a long time. There's some pieces that I've seen on eBay and other websites, from the 70s even. So it's not a watch brand that I've heard of really up until I found this watch and just really fell in love with it. But they've been around for a while. One thing I couldn't find was really anything about this watch other than what was on the Romer website. And I will kind of post that up here in just a second, a little bit of some info about it. But it's a really nice watch. The weight is really great. And if we take a look at the watch itself, the back of the watch, we've got solid end links, which is really nice. Kind of a signed case back, no sapphire or clear case back, which I kind of would have liked to see the 2824 movement on the back of there, but it's got a nice case back overall. It's got a sapphire crystal on the front, water resistant to 10 atmosphere, so 100 meters. So not a true dive watch, but it does have a screw down crown and actually a really nice signed crown as well with this kind of black and silver, if I can get that right there. So a nice signed crown, reasonable crown guard. It is screw down crown, so that's nice. All the links, of course, are solid, and then the end links are solid as well. The clasp is nice. It's a relatively standard butterfly deployment clasp. So it's nice and sturdy. It's definitely not loose or shaky like some other brands. But a really nice bracelet and really nice clasp altogether. I don't mind the butterfly deployment clasp, especially versus some of these other Swiss-made brands who do these pressed double lock or flip lock clasps. I can't stand pressed clasps, so I'd much rather have something like this than I would a pressed clasp, just because of the kind of security and the weightiness that it's going to come with. But overall, I'm really impressed with this watch. I absolutely am in love with the color and the look that it provides. I was looking on their website, and I think the retail for this on their website's somewhere between $700 and $800, which is probably inflated a little bit. The weird thing is I've found other examples of this watch just in different color variations, black dial. I think there's a black and gold version where the center links are gold. And those are reselling used for, $600-700. So it's not, apparently it doesn't turn out to be a crazy amount for this watch. And honestly, I think with like I'd mentioned earlier, the actual etched bezel, and it almost looks like the platinum filling they use in Rolexes, but some sort of darker silver darker platinum style filler on the inside of those etched numbers. I mean, for that, the finishing on the dial, and excuse me, I'm using my iPhone for this, but the finishing on the dial and the lume pips, the ETA 2824 movement, that really crisp, clean date window, and the fact that it's, you know, Swiss made. Apparently that might not be that crazy of an ask. $600, $700, $800 new, and they're holding value pretty well. There's not a lot of them for sale, which is kind of crazy. You know, this one has obvious light wear for sure. I did buy it used, but it's such a phenomenal piece, and I've been very, very happy with it. I'm going to put it on and kind of show you guys some wrist shots, and then I'll pull up some more information on the watch itself. Now, this is a, they say it's a 42 millimeter. That's kind of the interesting thing. So I've found two different sets of specs on this, one saying it's a 40, one saying it's a 42. I don't have one of the more accurate millimeter measuring kind of devices, but I would say it wears probably between a 40 and 42. It's really hard to say. I've got 7.5-inch wrists, and I have become very, very kind of accustomed to 40 millimeter watches. I really enjoy the slightly smaller watches. This has a very nice low profile. And so I wear dress shirts on a daily basis. This slides very, very easily under the cuff of a dress shirt, which is really nice. Again, love this president style band. Huge, huge fan of that. You don't see that on a lot of watches nowadays. And this is definitely not trying to pretend to be something that it's not, you know, and being some sort of date homage. But the president bracelet is really, really nice. Meaty and substantial without being too over the top. Wears really, really well on the wrist. And again, I just can't get over that white dial. And on video and on pictures, it looks like a black bezel, and I'm sure it is, you know, technically a black bezel, but in person, it's got this really cool, like dark charcoal look. So it's not that super solid, just pitch black look. It's almost kind of like the silver that they put inside the etchings. It's just kind of got this nice texture and nice dimension to it. So, you know, I'm excited to grab some really nice leather straps and kind of play around with this and put some nice leather straps on it. But, you know, this is day 2 with this watch so far, and I am thoroughly impressed. I absolutely love the watch. It's probably my second favorite watch I've ever owned in terms of aesthetics. The first being I had a Ball Engineer Marvelite 2, and had that on its bracelet, which interestingly enough, I was not a massive fan of the bracelet. I had it on a leather strap with a really nice kind of deployment buckle that I had fitted to it, and I enjoyed that as my daily wear for quite some time. So this would be second place, really only to that. I absolutely am in love with the aesthetics. It's very clean. It's very classy. They've done such a great job. Not too many lines of text. You know, I don't know exactly how I feel about that large R for the Romer. You know, the letter R and the Romer text there. But I think the dial's balanced nicely. And overall, just a super, super nice watch. And I mean, if you can find one of these examples, either the black and gold or just your standard stainless with the black bezel, they're really, really nice watches. Workhorse movement on the inside. I've found this, at least over the last couple of days, to be very, very accurate in terms of timing. You know, and I'm sure if you get it serviced, these 2824s, you can, I mean, you can get these things to be super, super accurate. But that is my review of the Rochshell Mark III by Romer. The kind of what I would almost call the Panda version, but you're black and white. I have been a huge fan. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I hope to have more reviews of more unique watches coming soon. You know, this channel is not going to have a ton of reviews in terms of extremely expensive watches, but I hope to be able to source some rare watches. I have a really cool Oris Pilot that's coming in. that I can't find a single video on. It's incredibly unique, so there'll be a video of that coming soon. But overall, excellent watch. If you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks.